From a terrifying tornado that barreled down on this state trooper, and a tennis player in Indonesia who was nearly struck by lightning, to an avalanche in western China that sent these hikers running for cover, and a local man in Marshalltown, Iowa who recorded a tornado throttling his city. Here are 10 scary natural disasters caught on camera. On July 19th of 2018, a powerful EF3 tornado touched down north of Route 29 in central Iowa. It moved east at a high rate of speed, covering 9 miles in just 23 minutes. The people of Marshalltown, a small city of roughly 27,000 in Marshall County, watched with bated breath as the storm approached. They hoped it would dissipate, or at least turn before hitting their community. Instead, it tore clean through, destroying everything in its wake.
That's fence. Oh, there goes the rest of the fence. Damn, dude. Holy it's going right by the office. It literally went down the alley.
Locals could only describe the damage as catastrophic. Buildings had collapsed, roofs were torn off, and power lines littered the streets. 22 people suffered various injuries, and while plenty lost their livelihoods, nobody lost their lives. This storm was part of a broader outbreak over central Iowa that day. Of the 69 tornadoes in Iowa in 2018, 21 occurred on July 19th. Of them, only 2 reached EF3 intensity, the one over Marshalltown and another over the city of Pella. According to rough estimates, the July outbreak caused over $320 million in damage across the state. Southeast Asia is among the most earthquake-prone places on Earth. Over 80% of all tremors occur along the Pacific Ocean's outer rim, also known as the Ring of Fire. Countries like Japan, Indonesia, and Thailand are all in the extreme danger zone. On March 28th of 2025, a pair of powerful earthquakes struck near Mandalay, Myanmar, the country's second largest city. The first registered as a 7.7 magnitude on the Richter scale. It was followed by a devastating 6.4 magnitude aftershock about 12 minutes later. The earthquake's shallow depth meant people over 600 miles away in Bangkok felt the effects. Watch as this mob flees from a busy market, only to witness catastrophe on the horizon.
น่าจะแผ่นดินไหวครับไม่โยกแต่ก็น่ากลัวอยู่ครับน่าจะนิดนึงแหละโอ้ยเวียนหัวอุ้ยอุ้ยเชี่ยเข้าในห้างก่อนหลบข้างในก่อนครับมันควัน
เลยเร็ว
ปิดเลยครับปิดเลย
The collapsed building was a 33-story high-rise skeleton owned in a joint venture between Italy, Thailand, and China. Over 100 builders were inside the structure when it fell, many of whom did not make it out. There are conflicting figures between different reports. According to some, upwards of 40 people perished when the building collapsed. Most of them were immigrant workers from Cambodia and Myanmar. In the aftermath, 4 Chinese nationals were arrested for illegally entering the site and trying to remove several documents, leading some to question if the construction project was up to code when it collapsed. Dolores, Uruguay is a small city on the southern banks of the San Salvador River. The quiet community made national headlines in 2016 when a monstrous EF3 tornado ripped through the center of town. It was April 15th of 2016. The storm formed just west of the city and intensified as it approached. It led to one of Uruguay's most damaging single-event weather disasters. Footage from the ground shows what it's like to be caught completely off guard. Thankfully, our cameraman was standing right outside the danger zone. Sadly, the Dolores tornado claimed 4 lives, injured over 200 people, and damaged roughly 400 buildings. Churches and businesses were flattened, and some schools were completely destroyed. Despite being the only country located entirely within South America's tornado alley, Uruguay only averages about 1 twister per 10,000 square miles every 5 years. In other words, they are extremely rare, and people are often unprepared. The Meili Mountains are a scenic, snow-capped range in Yunnan Province, China. They're a sub-range of the New Mountains and part of the larger Hengduan Group, which connects the southeastern portions of the Tibetan Plateau with the Yunnan Guizhou Plateau. The tallest peak in the Meili Range is Mount Kawagarbo, which rises roughly 22,000 feet above sea level. The local Tibetans consider it a sacred mountain, so Kawagarbo is off-limits to climbers. It's also rather dangerous, with frequent avalanches roaring down the steep sides. On February 20th of 2025, local hikers caught one of those avalanches on camera. At first, they were laughing and appreciating the view, but moments later, they were running for their lives.
那在顶上的怎么办啊？
天哪！哇！他你拍到了吗？啊！
我现在担心他们上面的人。
上面还有人吧？
有呢！哦，好大！
这么高，怎么办？
这咋整？
哎呀，跑！哎！
快跑呀！快来呀！我们在这里安全吗？
我靠！
我靠！待会儿，
天哪，
这么大！不是，他是不是要过来了？
就过来了，对，过来了又，帽子戴好，看好。
我来了，我们可以这样吗？
我操！雪姑爷看清了，阿宝来了！雪姑来了！我操，好冰啊！
Thankfully, the avalanche occurred in an undeveloped area, meaning nobody was hurt and there was no significant property damage. The snow wall had weakened significantly by the time it reached our hikers. While they could have gotten to cover sooner, none were in any real danger. Avalanches on the Holy Mountains have claimed many lives in the past. In 1991, a Japanese group attempted to climb the peak despite heavy protests from the local Tibetan community. As they neared the top, a late-night avalanche raced down the mountain, claiming all 17 of them. After that, fewer and fewer groups attempted to scale the mountains. Then, in 2001, China banned all climbing expeditions on Mount Kawagarbo and other religious grounds. The Banjarnegara Regency is an inland county in central Java, Indonesia. It's home to roughly 868,000 people, including one local tennis player who will never look at lightning the same way again. It was February 18th of 2025. Nana and her tennis coach were waiting for some stormy weather to clear overhead. When they saw a soccer team take the field nearby, they figured the storm had passed and it was safe to start playing. That's when Mother Nature decided to test Nana's concentration. If we take it frame by frame, you can see where the lightning bolt nearly splits the tree in half. It could have easily set the whole thing on fire if the ground hadn't been so wet. Thankfully, the scary encounter with Mother Nature didn't deter Nana from chasing her tennis dream. Incidents like these are common in Indonesia, which is among the most lightning-prone places on Earth. In fact, in 2022, they recorded the highest number of lightning strikes by a considerable distance. Over 76 million flashed over the Indonesian islands. Argentina came in second with a measly 42 million. Decatur, Texas is a small city of 6,500 people in Wise County, roughly 67 miles northwest of Dallas. On April 16th of 2022, it was the site of a freak hailstorm that sent giant balls of ice careening through this couple's window. It began as an average thunderstorm, but quickly escalated when golf ball-sized hailstones rained down upon their property. Imagine how hard the wind must have been blowing to get these stones to fly sideways.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
This is what we had insurance on right here.
Yeah. And we're gonna have to check the roof. Hail damage on the roof.
That is insane. Look at these things. They were coming at the window like this, not down. We got them on the other side of the house. Inside.
Oh my god.
Look outside. Look at how much is on the ground. Look at that.
Oh my god.
Look at all this. I mean, just destroyed that window. Like, that would have killed somebody if you were outside. That would have killed you. This is all hail.
Once the storm passed, local insurance adjusters had their hands full. Hundreds of people called to report damage to their cars, homes, and businesses. In some parts of Decatur, locals reported hail the size of tennis balls. Thankfully, our homeowners were safe inside when the storm passed through. The man in the video is right that stones like that could cause severe bodily damage. A tennis ball-sized piece of hail can easily fall between 44 and 72 miles per hour. And imagine the bump that would leave on your head. The largest hailstone on record was recovered on June 23rd of 2010 in Vivian, South Dakota. It measured over 18 inches around and weighed over a pound, putting it somewhere between a softball and a basketball. In Japan, New Year's Day is considered a national holiday. On January 1st of 2024, many people were enjoying their day off from work. They were either spending time with family or out shopping at local malls. Then, without warning, their plans changed in an instant. Around 4 p.m. local time, a powerful 7.5 magnitude earthquake struck off the northern coast of the Noto Peninsula. At a shallow depth of 6 miles, the quake caused widespread damage near the epicenter. Footage from a shopping mall in Ishikawa shows us what it's like to be caught in a powerful seismic event.
Pecah semua guys. Aduh nih, bawa pulang bisa nggak?
While those inside the shopping mall were okay, many weren't so lucky. According to reports, the New Year's earthquake claimed over 570 lives and damaged nearly 200,000 structures. For many, it stirred vivid memories of the 2011 earthquake and tsunami, which led to the Fukushima nuclear meltdown disaster. Japan has the densest seismic network in the world. They mostly occur on the east coast of Honshu Island, where the Pacific and Philippine sea plates subduct beneath Japan. The Noto region hadn't seen an event like this since 1964, when a 7.6 magnitude quake claimed over 300 people near Niigata, roughly 125 miles away. Typhoons threaten the West Pacific year-round. However, the strongest ones typically occur between May and October. In mid-July of 2024, Typhoon Gaimi formed off the coast of Palau, a small island country in the Philippine Sea. It worked its way west toward the Philippines, where it caused over $200 million in damage. From there, the storm passed over Taiwan, causing more significant destruction. Finally, Gaimi set its sights on Fujian, China, where it made its final landfall on July 25th. Watch as massive waves nearly tear apart these fishing racks before crashing over the sea wall. In Fuzhou City, multiple semi-trucks flipped on the highway when they couldn't withstand Gaimi's powerful winds. When it landed in China, Gaimi brought heavy rain and relentless winds, which triggered destructive floods and landslides across 9 provinces. When it was over, the super typhoon had caused roughly $4.57 billion worth of damage. It was one of the worst storms of the 2024 season, but it paled compared to Super Typhoon Yagi, which was on par with Atlantic hurricanes like Milton and Helene. Indonesia is no stranger to powerful rainstorms and flash floods. Every year, monsoon weather washes away critical infrastructure, including many of the country's old steel bridges. One of those bridge disasters occurred on the island of Nias, off the west coast of North Sumatra on March 5th of 2025. Several days of endless rain caused the river to swell significantly. Raging waters crashed into this steel bridge, which was one good push away from collapsing and floating downstream. The bridge collapse left 3 communities cut off from crucial supplies. Local authorities said they were pushing the North Sumatra government to build a new bridge as soon as possible, but it's unclear when that would be. Thankfully, nobody was on or near the bridge when it fell. The locals likely knew a collapse was imminent. Why do you think our camera woman was recording? Dagestan is a Russian republic in the North Caucasus region of Eastern Europe. It's home to roughly 3.1 million people living on the western shores of the Caspian Sea. Unfortunately, the views aren't always so pretty. On January 22nd of 2015, footage emerged of a massive mudslide in the Dagestan mountains. We believe an initial slip caused this person's car to get stuck on the side of the road. Watch as the locals try to save it, but quickly retreat when the ground beneath them starts moving. We think this car belongs to the man in the white shirt and the khaki pants. He runs away at first, but hesitates as if he wants to go back and save his car. Thankfully, his instincts take over, and he lets Mother Nature run her course. Because information from this region of the world is hard to come by, we don't know much else about this mudslide event. Hopefully, our friend was able to save his car before the mudslide swallowed it whole. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more just like it, be sure to click the link on screen now. With that, thank you all for watching, and we hope to see you in the next one.